Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf and welcome to another Foundation Friday. Now on this Foundation Friday it's going to be slightly different because I'm going to be testing out two different foundations that have been released on the same day from the same brand. That brand is Revolution and these are the two foundations that I'm talking about. So this one is the Double Fix XX foundation and this one is the Glow Skin XX foundation. I'll tell you their proper full long-winded names during the bump, but this is going to be a little bit of a foundation wars. One is a radiant finish and one is a more skin-like matte finish. So before we get some of this on my face and before we do a little bit of bump, please make sure you have liked, you have subscribed and you've hit on that notification bell so you are not missing any future uploads. I upload on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 PM London time, and I'm also on Instagram if you want to follow me on there. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. Let's do a little bit of bump on these and we'll get some on my face. Okay, so like I said, these have really long-winded names. The one with the black lid is called XXREVOLUTION Liquid Skin Foundation Double Fix. This is the one with the natural matte finish that's supposed to be quite high coverage. This one with the pinky purple lid is called XXREVOLUTION Glow Skin Foundation Luminous Foundation. From now on, we're just going to call this one the Glow Skin and this one the Double Fix. So both of these will set you back £15 and you get 27 mils, which works out for the standard amount £16.66 for the standard 30 mils, which again, I think is quite expensive for an affordable brand. This does, however, come in 55 shades. I've gone for the shade FX 4.5. They come in so many different undertones as well, and Revolution are absolutely fantastic for being an inclusive brand. This one is supposed to give full coverage, whereas this one is supposed to give medium to full coverage. This one gives a silky finish and this one more of a radiant finish. This one, although is a semi-matte foundation, is formulated with vitamin E and hyaluronic acid, so shouldn't be drying on the skin. And this one is formulated with illuminating pearl particles and hyaluronic acid, just like this one, collagen and peptides. So this one does have some lovely nutritious ingredients for the skin. This one's supposed to be long wearing, this one's supposed to be lightweight. They are both cruelty-free and vegan. Let's get some of these on. Okay, so as per usual, I already have all of my skincare and SPF on my face and I've given that plenty of time to sink in before I'm applying the foundations. Now, because I'm applying two foundations to my face, I'm not going to get to apply one half of my face with a brush and one half with a sponge to see which one applies better. So I'm going to be applying both of these with a brush, and if I feel like I need to, I'll smooth it over with a sponge afterwards. So we're going to be applying the Revolution Liquid Skin Foundation Double Fix on this side of my face and the Glow on this side of my face. So let's get on with the Double Fix first. Okay, so let's see how thick this is. I'm going to put 2 pumps on my hand because that's how many I would usually do for the full face, just in case I need more than 1 pump to do the face. As you can see, this is very similar to a normal liquid foundation, so it's not standing proud on the skin, it's not too thick. It is definitely liquidy, and if I tilt my hand, it will run down the back of my hand. Okay, so straight away I can see that this is a very, very smooth foundation. I'm having to work quite quickly because this is drying quite quickly on my skin. This is a really nice finish. It's actually quite blurring on my pores. Really, really flattering. It looks like my skin, but a better version of my skin because it doesn't have any pigmentation, any discoloration, nothing is poking through. Considering the consistency of this is relatively thin, the pigmentation is excellent. I mean, this is covering everything that I need it to cover. There is still a slight patch of scarring here on my cheek, but I mean, you'd have to get really up close and personal to actually see that. I'm not sure you can see it on camera. I've probably used around about, I would say, 2/3 of a pump for that side of my face. Let's move on to the glow skin. Okay, so same thing, gonna put 2 pumps of this on the back of my hand. Both pumps are not equal in size, which is a little bit odd, and they are super, super thick in consistency, like really, really thick, standing proud. I would have expected this to be the other way around, the glow skin foundation to be really thin and the really high coverage foundation to be really thick. Let me get a different brush. This is a clean brush, and try popping this on. This is in the same shade, by the way, which is 4.5. This is super, super thick. Very much like the IT Cosmetics CC cream. Oh, really, really thick. Both of these are scented, by the way. They both have artificial fragrance in them, but I can hardly notice it. It's not overpowering. This one already feels heavier on my skin. I think it's because of the consistency. It's nowhere near as much coverage when it first goes on. Let's add a bit to the forehead. It's definitely got a glow to it, which is meaning that my pores aren't as camouflaged. They definitely don't look airbrushed, because this is much shinier and more radiant. Okay, so you can definitely see quite a vast difference between the two. Because they're side by side, I definitely prefer this one at this moment in time to this one, because this one, it just doesn't look as flattering on my skin. It may do once it's dried down, but we'll just have to see. Again, really good shade match for me, the 4.5. It's for light skins with a neutral undertone. So it's definitely more of a medium coverage rather than a medium to full coverage, this one. I'm sure that you'll be able to build it up. I'm gonna leave it at that though, because I don't want to over apply this foundation and then it's not a fair test. So each foundation has one layer of foundation on. I've not tried to build it up in any way. I'm gonna go and put the rest of my products on and I'll be right back. So that's the finished look for today. Do let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. Let me zoom you in up close and personal so you can really see both of these foundations really, really closely. Just to jog your memory, this side is the Double Fix and this side is the Glow Skin. So come a little closer. Okay, so we're going to start looking at the side with the Double Fix foundation on there, and excuse me squinting, it's really bright outside today. So this just looks practically perfect on my skin. My pores are airbrushed. This looks very, very skin-like. It has settled a little bit into my smile line around my mouth. I sort of thought that was going to happen because it wanted to creep in there as soon as I applied the foundation. But if I just buffed that with my finger, that would be removed very, very easily. My forehead looks absolutely fantastic, very, very flawless and very, very skin-like. Really, really like this foundation very, very much. So let's move on to the side with the Glow Skin Foundation Luminous Foundation. This I'm not so keen on. I've only had this foundation on now for about an hour because I have filmed another video in between applying this foundation and me filming this part of this review. And this looks really thick and heavy on my skin, very, very shiny. I didn't set this in place after I applied all my other products, but it's already started to break down on my chin area and in between my brows, which is a problem for me after an hour. And I really tried to apply this quite sparingly because it is so super thick. So at the moment I am not as keen on this side. I think what I'm going to have to do, and I'll do this now, is apply a little bit of powder just to dull the shine down a little bit, because it is super, super shiny and is looking a bit cakey around this area here and this area here. It's just not pleasant, which I don't normally get after an hour. So let's just mattify that down a little bit and hopefully that will wear better. So for me, this is a foundation that you have to set, otherwise it just looks a bit gloopy on the skin. So I'm gonna get on with my day. I will check in with you a little bit later on and show you how these foundations are holding up. See you all in a bit. Welcome back to the check-in. It's now been just over 10 hours since I first applied the foundations to my face, and we're gonna have a little bit of a rundown on how those foundations performed. But before I do, obviously let's address the elephant in the room. I've been playing around with some curling tongs this afternoon, and although curls really aren't a good look for me, it's a little bit of a change. My hair doesn't generally hold a curl. I did it over on Instagram, so if you're wanting to know what products I used, it's over there, and Beatrice looks absolutely beautiful. So it was well worthwhile playing around with them this afternoon and wasting a little bit of the lockdown time. So back to the foundations. Both foundations have performed completely differently. So if I turn my head this way, you'll see that this is much more skin-like and doesn't look as heavy, whereas when I turn my head this way, far, far more dewy. And I mean, you can see around here, it looks like I've been at the gym. Here, it's not so great either. Here is just a mess. Let me zoom you in so you can see this up close and personal in natural lighting. So let's have a look at the Double Fix foundation first, which is the one that is slightly more matte and skin-like. This has stayed looking quite true all day. It's a little bit shinier than it was when I first applied it, but my pores are still slightly airbrushed. Obviously not as much so as they were when I first applied, but it's still looking pretty good. The only area where it is slightly cakey and looks a little questionable is around my chin area, which is my problem area. Now let's have a look at the Glow Skin, which just looks not very good at all. I want to say terrible. This looks absolutely terrible. So this is cakey on my chin, it's cakey between my brows, it's cakey on my forehead, cakey around my nose. It's just cakey, full stop. This looks really heavy. It looks really unflattering up close and personal. And it started to go a little bit patchy as well. The cakier it's got, the patchier it's got, and it's just not done very well. A positive that I do want to mention though is that both of these foundations have felt very lightweight on the skin. It hasn't felt like I've really got any foundation on, and the more I've worn the Glow Skin foundation, the lighter in weight it's felt, which is back to front really, because usually the longer you wear it, the heavier it feels, but that just hasn't felt that way for me. It's just felt very, very lightweight on my skin as it's dried down. Another positive is that it has not been tacky to touch, even the Glow Skin side, which you would think would be really tacky and really liftable, and that just hasn't been the case. My products have remained intact on both sides, so that is a real positive for me. I know I said that the Glow Skin looked terrible. However, I haven't tried this with a blending sponge because I've tried two foundations out at the same time. I am eager to try both of these foundations again using a blending sponge for application, because I've got a feeling that if I used a blending sponge, especially on the Glow Skin side, and got more of a thin layer of foundation rather than applying it with a brush and maybe applying a little bit too much, this foundation may have done a lot better. At the moment, definitely not my favourite, but I am eager to try it again, and I will update you on my progress and how this is worn in a future faves and fails video. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Also, please share your experiences with these foundations. Have you tried them before? Did you absolutely love them? Did they sit beautifully on your skin? Or did you have a problem with them? Do let everybody know within your comment how old you are, what sort of skin type you have, because that really does help us categorize who's going to suit this foundation and who isn't. I definitely think that both of these foundations will probably be unsuitable for anybody with a really oily skin. I just don't think they play very well. Dry skin, absolutely perfect. I definitely have dry skin. These haven't sank into any of my dry patches. They've sank slightly into this smile line, but on this side, absolutely perfect. So I think for a dry skin, these would be absolutely fantastic. But if you're very, very active during the day, I don't think these are going to be for you, because I've been sat for most of the day filming and editing, and this is what I look like at this moment in time. Anyway, do let everybody know your thoughts and feelings on this, because your thoughts and feelings are completely invaluable for the rest of the wolf pack. Absolutely priceless. So please make sure you comment below if you've tried out these foundations before. Hope you've enjoyed this. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.